thanks for clicking on my video. I want to show you today how you can make a really cool artwork by just drawing a series of lines. This is a very contemporary approach to art with a definite minimalist edge. But if you can get yourself a big canvas, then something very simple like this can work really well to liven up a wall. It can be made in any colour scheme or even just in black. The idea behind this video is that it is an achievable piece for anyone to make, and you get a big sense of satisfaction painting something like this yourself, rather than buying a production line print from a shop or something. This is the very simple idea behind the painting and how I went about making the design. My square canvas is 120 centimeters square, so I started by dividing the vertical and horizontal lines in half and making a mark, then finding the quarter mark and making a mark there too. I drew a line down the centre and made a half and a quarter mark along this as well. I then took my ruler and drew a light line joining up these marks on a diagonal to create 5 slanted lines on each side. I'm going to fill each of these sections with more lines. So my options are vertical lines, slanted lines to the right, horizontal lines and slanted lines to the left. It really is this simple. So here I go, filling in each section with a different series of lines. As long as 2 types of lines aren't in adjacent sections, it's fine and it doesn't matter which ones you put where. So here I start drawing the design onto canvas. I place the filler lines around 1 centimeter apart. I don't want them too close together as I'm going to paint them in by hand, so I have to allow some room for wobble. And that's all the lines drawn on. Now for the ink. I'm using ink because the consistency will be easier for drawing lines than paint. It's more watery, so it glides smoothly across the canvas. If you don't have ink and have to use paint, then just make sure to mix it with plenty of water to get a runny consistency. You're looking for a consistency which is slightly thicker than water. I want to start with a navy blue, so I mix black and blue together to get my desired colour. I am testing it out here on a small canvas to see what it looks like. Ink dries a lot lighter, so be aware of that. Now, very important is the fact that my brush is a flat brush, just less than 1 centimeter wide. Having a flat brush rather than a pointed one means I can just drag it along and not be worried that the thickness of my line will change. I want this hand-drawn sort of effect, so a small wobble here and there isn't going to bother me, it's just part of the effect. I fill in 2 of the sections with navy blue. As long as the sections I choose aren't next to each other, then again, it doesn't matter which is which. Then I mix up my desired colour of green, something slightly turquoise but not too bright. So I use blue, green and black. I keep mixing and testing until I find that I've got it right. I start by painting this onto 2 of the sections as well. I follow up with just a plain black ink and then alternate between applying the green, then black until everything is filled in. Although you don't see the time passing here, I do sometimes wait for a section to dry as I find I need to rest my hand or even just rest my little finger on the canvas to steady my line. I don't want to smudge the wet ink, so sometimes I even wait a day in between. As you can see, I turn the canvas each time so that I'm always painting in a downward stroke. This feels like an easier rhythm for me. Dragging up and trying to keep a steady hand at the same time is much harder than dragging down. Also, if the ink runs, then gravity isn't going to spoil things with a big drip in the middle of the piece. And here all the lines are completed. It could be displayed at any angle, there's no right or wrong here. I did a couple of double lines on one side with black and green together, but this wasn't totally necessary. At some point, I think a piece like this could be easily overdone. So I decided to keep it as simple as this and complete it at this stage. I hope you like it, and I hope that if you're looking for something to paint for your home, you would be willing to give this one a try. It took me about 3 hours in total, so not long at all. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.